HYBE total silence. Allegedly leaked CCTV video shows Jungkook and Taeil in heated confrontation. What really happened? Fans in shock. ARMY can't sleep. Where's the truth? Why isn't HYBE talking? Anything to hide? HYBE, shut up. Fans are demanding an explanation after the JK and V video went viral. Shock fans. CCTV video allegedly shows JK and Taeil involved in hot incident. What's wrong? What would you do if two people whom you love, whom you admire, and who have accompanied your life for many years suddenly caught up in a video that makes all those beliefs start to crumble one after another? Will you believe what you see? Or are you waiting for an explanation that will not come? The question now haunts millions of armies around the world after a CCTV video of unknown source suddenly circulated widely on various anonymous platforms. The video is short. It only lasted 42 seconds, but enough to mess with the emotions of anyone watching it. And the most surprising? The figure clearly visible in it is very similar to Jungkook and Taeil, two names that have been considered inseparable, two names that carry the meaning of true friendship for BTS fans. However, it's not the laughter or hugs that are seen in the video. Rather, tension, rough body movements, impact sound, and highlight the eyes that cannot be lied to. Is this just a misunderstanding magnified by netizens? Or is this the harsh reality that HYBE has been hiding all this time? A dark corner of the room, a timestamp indicating midnight, and a stressful expression. They all leave more questions than answers. Jungkook appears to be holding something in his hand. Taeil refused to sit down. There was a moment where the two approached each other, too close, then the sound of something falling. And the dark screen. ARMY needed no words to feel the pain that enveloped the last seconds of the video. But what they need now is honesty. Unfortunately, HYBE chose silence. Why? That's the first question that keeps coming up. Why does an agency as big as HYBE, which is always quick to respond to dating rumors and even small speculations, now seem to turn a deaf ear and eye to such a big event? Is it because it's not just about rumors, but about something deeper, darker, and more painful? Some fans tried to calm down. They said the video may have been edited. But more and more are comparing camera angles, body shape, how to walk, to the details of clothing. More and more people are convinced it's really Jungkook and Taeil, and the most disturbing thing is their facial expressions. Looks tired, full of pressure. No script can create such a gaze, right? Now, thousands of threads have appeared on social media with the hashtags #ProtectJKV and #HYBeSpeakNow. A request for clarification is no longer a request. It was already a demand, especially after allegations arose that the video was shot in one of the rooms of a private studio, which was accessible only to insiders. Who leaked it? Dan. Why now? Is this part of something bigger that has been hidden from the public eye? Is this an indication that the relationship between BTS members is not as beautiful as they have shown in front of the camera? Even more surprising, some armies speculated that this incident may be related to an internal conflict that has been going on for a long time but was deliberately covered up. Some brought up the odd moments in the old live video, when Jungkook seemed to want to talk but chose silence, or when Taeil gave an answer that sounded like a hidden code. All that is a clue? At the time, nobody noticed. But now, when all the pieces began to be assembled, the huge picture that appeared was stifling in the chest. Especially when a post allegedly belonging to HYBE's internal staff appears that implies a big mess that must be controlled before the public knows it. What kind of chaos, Dan? Who is harmed? Many fans began to feel betrayed. Not by Jungkook or Taeil, but by the system, by management, by the people who were supposed to look after them, but instead chose to cover things up as if the fans weren't mature enough to know the truth. But who can blame the fans? They love BTS with all their souls. They watched the struggle of each member from the bottom to the top. They cried when BTS won Daesang. They screamed when BTS performed at the Grammys. And they prayed when BTS one by one entered the army. But now, they only want one thing: honesty. Unfortunately, HYBE has not given anything yet. There is no clarification, no statement, No confirmación. There was not even a refusal. All quiet. Silence. And every hour that passes without explanation only makes the situation hotter. One army wrote in the community. We are not fools. We knew something was up.
We know you're hiding something.
And we won't stop until we know what it is. Questions began to arise from various sides. Did Jungkook and Taeil quarrel due to the pressure of a solo comeback? Is it related to internal financial issues? Or are there any personal messages that have been misinterpreted by any of them? Does Jimin know about this? Has Jin tried to reconcile? Or is it, this is the beginning of something irreparable? The video has now been saved and re-uploaded by multiple accounts. Although some have been taken down due to reports of privacy violations, but copies are still alive and spreading like wildfire. ARMY doesn't just watch it, they analyze it, frame by frame, motion by motion, breath by breath, and all that leads to one conclusion. Something went wrong, especially after it was discovered that their training schedule on the day the video was recorded. It was changed suddenly for no apparent reason. Taeil reportedly came out first. Jungkook followed an hour later. And the studio where the video was shot? Not listed in any official logs. Is this an incident that should never have been recorded? Or was it an honest moment that the public was never allowed to know? Not a few also feel this is proof that the pressure borne by the members is increasingly unbearable. That even friendship can crack when the walls of agency are higher than conscience. And if this is the beginning of a split, who will bring them back together? Fans were crying. Not because of disappointment. Because I don't know who to trust. Is this the end of a #jungkook moment that used to be so warm and sincere? Or this is just a dark phase that will pass? HYBE, if you're reading this, know this. We don't want hate. We want to understand. Please, don't let us keep asking in the dark. And to Jungkook and Taeil, if you really hold wounds that cannot be shared with the world, we're here. We still love you. But we beg you, do not let the wound deepen because of prolonged silence. We will continue to wait. Although in stinging, although in uncertainty, because of sincere love. Never give up just because the reality does not match expectations. But until this moment, all hope seemed to be swallowed up by silence. There is no official statement from HYBE. Not even a single source can confirm the correctness of the context of the video. But strangely, and this makes things even more confusing, some staff, who are usually quite active on social media, seem to suddenly disappear. Accounts that used to often share behind the scenes or simply like fanbase posts suddenly disappeared from circulation. Is this a coincidence? Or a stealth silencing strategy? One international fanbase even claimed to have gotten an anonymous DM from someone who claimed to have worked in one of HYBE's security divisions. In the message, the person wrote, the video was not supposed to leak. There's a much bigger thing going on, and it involves more than just an argument between members. But when asked further, the account simply disappeared. DMS can no longer be returned. Accounts are closed, as if evaporated from cyberspace. And that only adds to the fear. It's not just about two members fighting. It's about the system. About a management that has been hailed as one of the most professional, but now looks like building a transparent wall, where everyone can see the wound inside, but no one is allowed in to help. The question now is, if it is true that this is just a misunderstanding or an edited video, why didn't HYBE just dismiss it right away? Why do they allow millions of fans to speculate endlessly, devising theories after theories that make all parties even worse? Wouldn't it be easier to say, the video is fake and include evidence? Or, indeed, there is something indisputable. Some soldiers with experience in the field of digital forensics even tried to analyze the video from a technical aspect. They traced shadow patterns, light effects, as well as camera distortions. And most concluded one thing that was quite astonishing. This video is not an ordinary edit. If this is an edit, then the level is equivalent to film production. Even the detailed seconds of the digital clock in the corner of the screen correspond to the Korean standard security rotation. So, if it's not an edit, then it's real, and if it's real, then is this the beginning of a crack that can no longer be hidden? Even more heartbreaking, Rumors began to emerge that Jungkook and Taehyung's relationship had been strained for the past few months. Many began to remember that their interactions in public did feel cooler. No more looking at each other like before. No more warm hugs. There was only a faint smile that was too trained. Is this the pressure of their respective solo projects? Or something more personal? Could it be that there was a message from Jimin, from Jin, or even from Suga that accidentally muddled the atmosphere? Questions are increasingly blurred, and fans are increasingly immersed in a sea of emotions that cannot be described in words. On the other hand, fear arises.
Fear T.
Have you ever felt your body tremble just because you saw a piece of video? Have you ever felt like something was terribly wrong, but there wasn't a single adult in the room to stop it? That's how most of the army felt when the 57-second video appeared without warning and censored, merciless, and now they demand more than an explanation. They demand protection. Not just for Jungkook or Taehyung, but for all the members, for anyone involved in a system that ignores crying in silence. One big Japanese fan site revealed an astonishing chronology based on the timestamp listed in the lower left corner of the CCTV footage. The alleged location was a second-floor private practice room in the HYBE building, a place normally closed off from the public, even from regular staff. What were the two BTS members doing in the room in the middle of the night? Why are there no staff on guard? Why was there no other voice besides the two of them? Even stranger, there are moments where the camera moves a little, like on purpose. Like someone was controlling it from the surveillance room. But on the tape there is no evidence of a third party coming to break up. Then who's recording? And who is the tape sent to? This is the point where everything goes from gossip to terror. One of the independent investigative journalists from South Korea uploaded a long thread whose contents made the hair stand on end. He claims to have received a USB from an anonymous source containing the video even before it went viral. He was given a short message that left him speechless. If you are silent, then you are part of them. But the journalist is now silent. The thread is removed. His account was hacked. He had written one last message before all was lost. There is something bigger than this fight. This is not about two warring idols. It's about a system that makes them hurt each other. And with that one sentence, the whole fandom was rocked. Does this mean that HYBE knew, but let her? Or is it a game from the outside to take down two of the biggest icons in the industry? Tensions rose when another rumor began to emerge that Taehyung had wanted to apply for a sabbatical after the incident, but his request was rejected for reasons of promotional strategy. Some even mentioned that he had not been present at the group's training session, and his presence was replaced by HYBE's internal trainer so that it would not be known to the public. If this is true, then this is not just a personal conflict. This is a silent sacrifice forced by the system for the sake of maintaining the image. And Jungkook, since the video appeared, it has not appeared on live broadcasts. She only posted one short Insta story, a black background, the song "I'm Tired, So Tired," which was immediately deleted in 7 minutes. But it was enough for ARMY to pick up on a clear implicit message. He's not doing well. Someone from the staff was even seen carrying an ice bag when exiting the rehearsal studio. Is that for JK? Were there any physical injuries after the incident? Or is this just paranoia that grows because no one gives an answer? But what broke the hearts of fans the most was the emergence of a recording of Taehyung's voice that seemed to be accidentally caught in a training session where he was heard saying, "I can't take it anymore. If he stays like that, I'll leave. I'm serious." Words that no one should ever hear. Words that seem to confirm that there are wounds, there are fortifications built, and there is anger that has been suppressed. The army is now divided. Some feel it's time for things to be sorted out openly. There are also those who feel that this pressure will worsen the members' mental state and call for quiet and patient action. But how is it possible to be patient if the truth is only conveyed in sound cuts, blurred shadows, and censored messages? One of the surprises was how Jin, who is currently serving the rest of his mandatory military service, suddenly liked a fan comment asking, "Appa, if you see this, please protect them. Don't let us lose them." Just one like. But the world immediately went into an uproar. Is that a sign that the genie knows? Is Jean preparing to go home sooner? Or is it just a form of care without any other purpose?